Welcome to Wealthy Mind, where we talk about all things finances, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the surprising. Welcome to Wealthy Mind. I am your host, Misty Rose Gold, International Success Coach. And here at Wealthy Mind, we love to help you create and maintain a wealthy mind. Today, I have a very special guest with me. His name is Jack Gelley. Hi, Jack.
Hey, Misty.
We have quite the history together, which
Yes, we do.
is pretty cool. And our history is very closely tied to this podcast and what you do. So I am looking forward to this conversation and kind of bringing things full circle and getting you some recognition after the year and a half that we've known each other. Um, please tell the audience, what do you do and who do you do it with?
Great. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on, Misty. I am a strategic marketing strategist, basically, kind of redundant.
Strategic marketing expert. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes. The main gist of my role is I help advertisers, companies that are trying to grow, trying to get their name out there, trying to attract more customers, figure out who they are as a company, what is their brand, what's their go-to-market messaging, what actually differentiates them from one of their competitors. Most places tell you, oh, I've got the best customer service. Oh, I've got the best prices. Oh, we have the fastest service. And those are the same things that all the competitors are saying. So what truly separates you?
Right.
And then we help design marketing campaigns that are designed to help you achieve your goals. We help you implement them, do your creative for you, track them as far as attribution, visits to your website. What are people doing on your website? If it's an e-commerce site, how much money did they spend? Did they come back a week later and spend more money? What's their engagement level with you? What's their perception of your brand? We can track all those things. And so it's a very symbiotic relationship with every client, and it's a very unique relationship with every client.
Yes. And which company do you do this with?
I am with iHeartMedia. We're the largest media company in North America.
Yeah. And that is another reason why Jack and I are closely linked to each other because iHeartMedia is iHeartRadio as well. And Jack was so gracious when the podcast was just starting off to help us out and put us on more channels than what we anticipated. So super grateful for that kind gesture from
My
you
pleasure.
and getting, the word out there and letting other people access the content that we provide. So I am super grateful for that. I remember the day that you told me you did that. It was very unexpected and you had me in tears. So thank you. Isn't iHeartRadio one of the largest radio podcasting platforms out there?
So it's the largest podcasting publisher in the world.
Mm.
We have over 800 podcasts that we produce on our own. Everything that comes out of the NFL, the MLB, the NHL, the NBA, the Bloomberg Financial Network, the How Stuff Works Network, the True Crime Podcast Network. Those are all published by iHeart. And with our partners, we have over 3,000 podcasts. We're also the largest ad streaming platform out there. So you have Spotify, you have Pandora, Apple Music, and iHeart. And we have the largest reach as far as ad served.
That's incredible. So businesses that are in a growth stage or they just want to keep growing, like, keep the numbers increasing every year, right? So
Correct.
you work with fairly large businesses and kind of smaller ones. So I know that you guys can serve a wide gamut of people, but if it makes sense for your business and you're looking at marketing and marketing dollars, I think entertaining a conversation with Jack is really important because iHeart can do so many things and it has such an incredible reach. You just have to make sure that you understand what marketing dollars are for.
Correct.
So, Jack and I really wanted to talk about that today. What are the marketing myths out there? What are realistic expectations in marketing and unrealistic expectations? Because this is a conversation that I have with business owners pretty much on a daily basis. Like, okay, you have marketing dollars. Now, what are you expecting from these marketing dollars? Are you expecting the faucet to turn on immediately? That is unrealistic, right, Jack?
Correct. Correct.
Okay, good. We're getting it from somebody that marketing is his space. He is a marketing expert. And unfortunately, when you throw marketing dollars at something, you cannot always expect an ROI straight away. So, what do you see in your space? How long does it take a business to see any profit or any,
Positive ROI.
yeah, any positive ROI coming from the marketing dollars that they spend with you in iHeartMedia/iHeartRadio?
So that's a kind of a nebulous question because it all depends on the market, the
Hmm.
offer, type of business they are, whatever industry they're in, how many different channels are they on? Are they trying a bunch of things at once? Are they just adding one more piece to their current marketing mix? Typically, for things like radio, since we own 880 radio stations across the country, we're in 162 US markets. Um, with radio, there's about a 3 to 3.5 month ramp up period where I tell everybody your first 3 months, you're going to hate me. You're going to want to call and cancel. It's not going to work. You're going to be negative ROI, but it's called a campaign, not a skirmish, right? And like a
Mm,
military campaign lasts months and
mhm.
months and months. It's not just a couple of weeks. So what people have to understand is we get hit with an average of 7,000 marketing messages a day. Our job is to make sure that your name gets heard and heard frequently enough that it finally starts to cut through the clutter and stand out. And then at any one time, only about 5% of the population is in market for your product or service. If you're Burger King or McDonald's, sure, that's going to be a little bit different. But if you're selling homes or
Right,
refrigerators
right.
or you're an attorney, tires for your car, if you bought a car today, you're probably not in the market for another 4 years for a car. So that's kind of the spread across who's available or who's in market for your product or service. Um, so it also depends what are the competition? What are they offering? What's your offer? Is it a really special offer? And it sounds really silly, but I always say I can send 100 messages out there that says Misty's a great person, she's a great coach, you ought to do business with her. Or I
Mm,
can run one commercial that says if you stop by Misty's office in the next hour, she's going to give you a crisp $100 bill. What do you think is going to send more people to you? It's the same thing. An
mhm,
offer always goes a lot further. And sure, people say all the time, I just want my name out there. I just want people to know me and to know that we exist. And I said, is that really what you want? You're going to spend $100,000 or $500,000 just for people to know you exist? Or do you want to see a positive return on that investment? And so there are things we can do, like how many times are you going to mention your name in that ad? The recommendation in a 30-second ad is that the name should be mentioned 5 times. The offer should be mentioned once or twice.
mm,
It's that branding, and you have to have a sonic brand that goes with it. So like a jingle or something that people, every time they hear it, they go, oh, that's Misty's jingle.
mm.
And so there's a lot of things that go into it. It also depends on like, how much money do you have to invest? Because marketing is not cheap if it's done right.
Right.
So my typical client is, $5 million and above annual revenue.
Hmm.
I've got some, in the 8-figure range, 9-figure range. And so it just depends on, like, again, are they in one market? If you're just in one local market, then yeah, you could probably get by with, a much lower marketing budget. But if you're trying to cover the nation, you better set your expectations that way too.
Yes, understood. So keep going. I'm letting you ramble because
All
this is
right.
what you do every day,
Well,
all day. This is what you talk about. You face the marketing objections and the marketing unrealistic expectations with people every single day. So
Mhm.
this is your wheelhouse. There's not a lot of prompting I have to do here to get this
No,
conversation out of you.
no, not really. The other thing that I always do before I ever launch a campaign with somebody is I look at their website.
Mm,
How easy to navigate is it? In their messaging, what are they trying to get the customer to do when they get to their website? Do I have to scroll below the fold or to the bottom of the page or two tabs over to find what they're trying to get me to do? Or is it right front and center above the fold when I land on their landing page? Make it as simple as possible for people to do what you want them to do.
mm,
Otherwise, it's much less likely that they're going to convert. If I have to scroll to look where to give you my contact information or where to fill out a form or where to make a purchase, the consumer doesn't want to do that. They want it to be easy for them. So our job is to help you make it easy for them to do that too. Then you see conversions start to skyrocket. Then you see
mhm,
people start to interact with you, submit forms, and so forth. The other thing that people need to keep in mind is just because they tried one tactic once and it didn't work, it doesn't mean it's not going to work again when they try it again.
mm, mm.
We have people tell me all the time, "Oh, I tried radio, it didn't work." And I'm like, "Well, can I dig into that and ask you about your campaign?" "Oh, well,
Right.
sure. Well, we did it for a month, and we spent $3,000." I'm like, "Well, that's why it didn't work. One, your investment level was too low, and two, you didn't do it long enough." Back to
Yeah.
what we were talking about earlier, your marketing campaign, your first 3 to 4 months, you're just laying the groundwork. And then when you hit that 4 month mark, it starts to do the hockey stick effect. Most people, when they're first starting out, especially if they're a smaller business, they say, okay, let's run it for 3 months. And I'm like, nope, you got to go
A
for at least
year.
6 months, at
We
least
need
six
to,
months.
in my, from my viewpoint, we need to go at least a year, like a realistic marketing campaign. Let's try it for a year and, allocate all of the money toward that for a year, budget that for a year. If you can't afford to do it, you're not in the right marketing space. You're not playing in the right pool. Like it's just,
Correct.
it's not right. So, um, if it's your last $3,000, it's not the right space.
No, it's not the right space. And often I'll tell people, if that's what you have, why don't you save up for a year and let me do a strong 4 month campaign for you?
Hmm.
It just doesn't make sense. And the other factor is like everybody says social media, digital, right? And digital has its place. Social media has its place, but it's also very, very low on the trust factor. Think about like if you get served an ad when you're on social media, do you trust that platform? Probably not, especially what happened in the last 4 years on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. The trust
Hmm.
factor is very low.
Yeah.
What people crave is a human connection. So we know that about 98% of people use social media. They're using AI now, but they don't trust it. They are using it, but they don't trust it.
Hmm.
What they trust is that human connection, the human factor. And you can tell if it's AI or not. You can tell if it's a real person or if it's a computer generated person. You know, a lot of times with AI, the joke is, oh, that person has 6 fingers. It's like Inigo Montoya in The Princess Bride, right? The 6 fingered man. It's not typical. So
Yeah.
with marketing, if I can make a personal connection with you, just like when somebody buys marketing from me, they buy it from me because they've made a personal connection with me. I made a personal connection with them. They trust me. They trust that I've got their best interest in mind, and I'm going to continue to produce on that. If that's not there, they're not going to do anything with me. And it's the same thing when you're talking about marketing and advertising. The number one way to advertise is word of mouth, right?
Hmm.
We talk about influencer marketing. Well, if you're watching a podcast like a Joe Rogan podcast or something like that, and he says, I use this product, I really like it, you're probably going to give it a try if you're in market for something like that product.
Hmm.
If I told you, Misty, I found this fantastic steak restaurant, you're really going to love it. You're 10 times more likely to go see it than if you saw a banner display that said, Ruth's Chris or whatever the steak place is.
Hmm.
It's that connection, that referral. And so, podcasts or the original podcasts were just rebroadcasts of talk radio shows. And then started getting in more and more into influencers and people's having something to say. And just like yourself, you started
Hmm.
a podcast because you have something to say and you wanted to get it out there to the masses.
Well, I started it because my wealthy mind partner said we should start a podcast.
And is
I
that not
said,
why you're doing
I
it?
said, okay.
Right.
We'll figure it out as we go. Like
Yep.
that's really how it happened.
Yep.
Trifon, he was like, let's start the podcast. I'm like, okay.
Sure. Why not? Nothing better to do with your time, right?
Why not? Let's go. So yeah. Anyhow, I mean, we all start things for different reasons, but I just
Mhm.
kind of had to throw that out there because I can't take credit for starting this podcast. That was totally Trifon, and I ran with it. So it felt like the right thing to do. It aligned with my coaching empire and everything. I was like, okay, let's
Yep.
figure it out, right? So,
Well, kudos to fun.
yep, Trifon, he's an incredible dude and a great partner, and I'm super glad to have him and lucky to have him. So, anyhow, I just had to throw that bit of honesty out there because I can't take credit for the idea.
Well, you're doing a smash up job, so that's good.
Hey, thank you.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Um, that's our partnership. That's how it works. I'm the face, I'm the content, I'm the, person that's out in front of the public, and he's behind the scenes with the technology. So it works really well. And I know that Trifon is super grateful to you for everything that you've done to help us with our podcast. So
It's always my pleasure.
yeah, I'm excited to connect the two of you. So that'll be fun. And he'll listen to the episode and be like, oh, yeah, Jack, thank you so much.
I'm kind of surprised we haven't met yet. That's funny.
I know. I know. There's a timing for everything. And um, so, you talk about the trust factor when it comes to marketing, and
Mhm.
it depends on the business of what is
Mhm.
right for you and who is the right fit for the marketing expert that you're going to trust. So,
Correct.
um, for people that might feel drawn to the conversation that we're having, I think that they would or it would be very beneficial for them to jump on a Zoom call with you, or if they're in the Denver area, to have coffee with you and just sit down and have that conversation and explore it from that place of realistic expectations of, okay, if I set aside 6 months of marketing spend for like 5 grand a month, what can get me? Or looking at a year, if you can do a year's campaign, that would even be better. So, um, having that realistic view of it and just understanding that, marketing is a lot of top of mind. It's a lot of building that trust with people. The more that your name is out there, the more people are likely to trust you and purchase your product or your services. So,
Mhm.
really important to focus on. And my podcast is just one of those platforms of, this is a trusted podcast and people trust me in my world. So I get to use my influence to help Jack.
I appreciate it too. You know,
Mm,
it's important that like if you want to make yourself seem bigger, right? You've got to be present. You've got to own one station. You've got to tie yourself to a bigger brand, like the Broncos or the Rockies. Well, I don't know about the Rockies right now with the year they're having, but or had. But it's a bigger name. It's a very well-known name throughout the state and even the region. And if you tie yourself like, hey, we're the official XYZ of the Broncos, even if you're only a one office location, that makes you seem bigger. And
mm,
that's what the general public's perspective or perception of you is that you must be big if you're advertising with the Broncos because they're the biggest brand in the Rocky Mountain region.
Okay, so that's a strategic play. So attaching yourself to a brand that's already trusted.
Correct. Or, back to the whole influencer thing. The original influencers are radio DJs. And so, we've got 45 DJs just in the Denver area that we can offer up as influencers for a brand. And we always see a quicker response rate when we have an influencer that's endorsing a product or service.
Hmm.
That person generally actually does use that product or service. So it's a genuine endorsement. It's not saying, "Oh, I'm just getting paid to say this."
Mm,
So that brings in a trust factor. They say, hey,
hmm.
we really like this company for these reasons, and I refer my friends and my family to them. You guys should use them too. Again, that's back to the trust factor. I
Hmm.
trust this person. I listen to them. They're my friend in the passenger seat on the way to work and the way home every day. I love listening to them because of the content they bring, the way they make me feel. Those are the things that are important. And the further away from that you get, the less trust there is.
Mm, yeah. Yeah,
So we,
it's a fundamental in business. It certainly is in mine too, the trust factor. So
Mhm.
what is going to lend to that trust factor? What is going to lend to the credibility of your business? And please
Yep.
think about that when you are looking at the strategy for your business, how to grow it, how to increase your revenue, but also where to market and who to market with. So
Correct.
the type of business that I'm in, marketing has to be very strategic and it has to be very creative. So, podcast is a part of my marketing because
Mhm.
what I do is so personalized for business owners. For me to go out and do some ads, that doesn't really make sense, not unless I'm selling a course or a book. Like,
Well, it's
that's,
funny you mentioned that because we were just talking about that this morning in our sales
mm-hmm,
meeting. Around Christmas and through kind of the middle of February to end of February,
mm-hmm,
people are trying to grow themselves, right? It's a new year. They're doing New Year's resolutions. I'm going to get in shape this year. I'm going to grow my business this year. I want to become more educated or equip myself better. And so, coaching is actually a big focus area for advertising in the first quarter of every new year.
mm,
And with
yeah,
the you would never just run a flat out radio commercial. But if you wanted to target entrepreneurs
mm-hmm,
or mid-level companies, somebody that's trying to grow themselves, and we can target just those people through podcasts, through streaming audio, through connected TV, through targeted emails,
mm-hmm,
banner display. You can even layer, geofence around like the DTC because you know that there's a condensed number of people that you're trying to reach in that area.
mm-hmm.
Serve them ads, track them to your website, show you the number of appointments that got set because of that ad. And so you really could do that. Um, Probably better for, like a more like a Sandler training where they have multiple people
Right.
and pools of money to do that. But
Yeah,
you could do that.
yeah. Um, it does make sense for different
Mhm.
coaching models.
Yep.
So for my coaching model, what makes sense for my marketing is, hey, start a podcast. I am a speaker and trainer,
Yeah.
so I'm speaking this week at a business event. Like those are the forms of marketing that I prefer and that work
Yep.
really well for my business model. So you just kind of have to look at it realistically of what is
Mhm.
my business model? Who is my target market? How do I acquire the clients or the customers? And
Mhm.
does this kind of marketing make sense? So let's say I was putting on a big speaking event myself with a bunch of other speakers. Now it would make sense to go spend money on marketing dollars with Jack. That would make sense to me,
Right. And you
right?
can pool your money at that point too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there are different ways that it makes sense. Like
Mhm.
if we're going into the new year and somebody has a course available as a coach and they want to market that, they can market it because it's a product. You have a website or landing page for that said product and you don't have to touch it. Really,
Yep.
it makes sense for that to happen. It's like, hey, do you want to start the new year strong? Here's my course, buy my course. That kind of marketing makes sense. But at the end of the day, again, the trust factor, I sit
Mhm.
down and have one-on-one conversations with my prospective clients, and that's where the conversion really happens.
Correct. I think that's
Definitely.
true for most advertisers. Our goal is to get them to your website, to walk into your store, your restaurant, and then have that personal interaction
Hmm.
where they're like, "Oh, okay, I'm glad I came. I'm glad I heard the ad. I'm glad I saw the ad, clicked on the link, whatever it is, to schedule the appointment to sit down." And it's that level of customer service that they're going to receive that's going to keep them coming back. I
Hmm.
can get them there,
Hmm.
and then it's up to you to convert them. That's
Hmm.
what most people don't understand. See, like I can't force a customer to convert. I can give a person
Yes.
water, but I can't make them drink.
Yes. So let's really touch on this. You are responsible for converting the person into a paid client or customer. Like Jack can work his magic, but if you're not good at closing that deal,
Mhm.
that's not on him, that's on you. So really, really, really get honest with yourself about how good you are about closing the sale. Because,
And there's a lot of tools out there, like you can listen to, phone calls that we generate. we have a product that we add on for free to a lot of our audio campaigns. And you say a number, like a 3-digit number, and it takes you right to the advertiser. And so for like you, for example, you'd say, from any smartphone, dial pound 250 and say Rose Gold, right? And it would take you right to you. And somebody answers it immediately from pound 250 and says, "Hi, are you trying to reach Misty Rose Gold?" "Yes, I am." "Okay, great. 1 second." And they transfer it right to you. But then they continue to listen and they can see what kind of response rate does your customer service person have? What kind of, how are they answering the phone right away? Are they, are they speaking kindly? Are they kind of being a jerk? So you get
Hmm.
the counseling on those calls too. So those are a lot of things that we're able to track and help our clients with this too, is customer service aspect once the call gets to them.
Mm. Very important part of the process. So thank you for providing some of that service. And I'm really, really, really going to call out the business owners right now because they like to blame other people for things not working. So let's say that Jack does a stellar job. You have a year's engagement with him with iHeart, and he does an incredible job, but you fail to close the deal. And then guess what? Because you're like most people, you're going to blame it on Jack and say, oh, iHeart sucks, Jack sucks, nothing worked, right? Well, how good are you at your conversions? How good are you at closing?
Yep.
Get real with yourself. The more real with yourself you are, the better this goes in business. Like we have to get super honest with ourselves. And when we're able to do that, then we can look at our strategies objectively and say, okay, this is where I fall short. Maybe I bring in someone else to close because I'm not a good closer. Or
Yeah.
maybe I increase my closing skills.
But not only that, but like I said, one of the first things I do is I'll analyze somebody's website and their social media.
Mm,
What is it they're currently doing? Is it effective? Is it someplace that I want to send new clients to? I'll give you an example. I had a client once that we did it was supposed to be a 6-month streaming TV campaign and targeted email campaign. Before we launched, I went to his website. I said, "Your website is horrible."
good on you.
The pictures had like the person was standing there like this in the mirror taking pictures, right?
No.
The client files out on the table in the pictures on their website. And then the picture of my client looked like he just got fussed out for 30 minutes instead of a
Uh,
nice smile with a family or whatever. You know, I said, "You got to fix this." I said, "Here are your top 3 competitors in the market, what their
mm,
websites look like." "Oh, this is
mm,
fine. I've had this site up for 10 years. It works fine." I said, "I'm telling you, it's not going to work." He goes, "Look, it's my money. I want to invest and get started." I'm like, "Against my better judgment, okay."
ugh.
In 2 months, we sent 11,000 people to his website. 11,000 people, not one conversion. And he got mad. And I said, "I told you it's not going to work. Your website is horrible.
Mm,
Not
yep.
my fault. If you're not going to listen to my counsel, and that's any good marketing representative is going to do the same thing. They're going to look at what am I working with now? And is this a website? Is this a social media profile that I want to send somebody to?
Hmm.
Right? If it's not, please take our advice and work on it, fix it, get your website to the point where you're proud of it, to stand it up against all your competitors and say mine's better.
Yeah. So there's a process that we as business owners have to go through. We have to step outside of our ego to be able to take that journey with somebody like yourself or myself, right? If it's
Mhm.
marketing or if it's coaching, it's can we step outside of our ego to allow this person to support us to the best of their ability? They're an expert in this field for a reason. Am I willing to accept their guidance? Am I willing to entertain it at least? Right.
Right.
So for me, when I listened to that story, it was simply the dude's ego got in the way. Like maybe he
Mhm.
tells himself that he's not enough every single day of his life. So for you telling him that his website sucks, all he's hearing is, I'm not enough. Right. Like this is the kind of stuff that I deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So it's where my mind goes.
Wow.
It's
Yeah, I
like,
mean, I always tell people I'm not in it for one sale.
mm,
I'm going to become your friend. We're going to be high 5 and 10 years down the road because of the success you've seen.
mm,
If you trust me and listen to me,
mm,
if not, Let's not do business together.
Yeah. Mm. Yep. And we have to draw those hard lines. I do it in my business too. Like, if you don't respect me, I'm not taking you on as a client. Like, to have, so I usually work with people like 3 to 4 years. That's a typical engagement for me over time. And in that space, we have to trust each other. We have to respect each other. And if I pick up on the fact that somebody just doesn't trust me or respect me, the respect piece is huge. If they don't respect me, they usually don't respect most people. So I won't take them on as a client. Like, the first barrier to entry is, who are you as a person? And then can we build trust and respect with each other over a trial period?
Mhm.
And then the money is like the third piece that I look at. That's not the first piece. I
Right.
have I've rejected a lot of clients because of that, because I'm like, all I see with you is a disaster. Like, we're gonna hate each other at the end of a 3-month trial. No thanks.
Yeah.
Understood. So, is there anything else that you can think of that we haven't mentioned that the business owners or CEOs or executives need to know when looking at entertaining using iHeartMedia as their go-to media source?
No, I would just say, we're not a one-stop shop. We don't offer print. We don't offer billboards. But pretty much anything else that you might be considered as far as digital marketing, audio marketing, visual marketing, we do it. And
Mm,
we do 22,000 events a year across the country. Just in Denver, we do about 2,000 events alone.
okay.
So there's lots of ways to tie you into the community. You know, different ways to do tasting and sampling and getting in front of, a crowd of 6,000 people or 12,000 people at a concert or a venue. So there's, don't think of us as just radio or just the app. A lot of times when I meet people, that's what they think of. Oh, you
Mm,
own a few radio stations and you have that app, right?
hmm.
That's barely scratching the surface of who iHeart is. So we're our own data company, and we partner with 26 other data companies: Equifax, Experian, Ground Truth, Comey, Amazon. We have all their data.
Mm,
So it's very easy for us to target people, to track them, to see what they're doing online already. What are they searching for? Are they taking certain medications? We can tell that kind of stuff. Um, so if they're in market for certain things, are they a business owner? Are they in the construction industry? Are they mid-level management? Are they a C-suite? What's their
hmm,
income range? Where do
hmm,
they live? So we can serve TV commercials to the largest screen in the home, and then follow them around every device in the home, web, email, however you want to do it. We like to put together full comprehensive campaigns for our clients whenever it's possible.
hmm,
Um, but if they're already, they have somebody that's already doing their social media and they have somebody that's already doing their targeted emails, they're just looking for something else to help give them over the hump and to drive more, maybe more awareness, maybe more reach. That's where we would sit down and talk with you. And we build custom campaigns for everybody. We don't just like say, here's a campaign, send it to the next 10 people, because I want to know, like, how are you going to measure success? What is that going to look like? It- Where are you at now? What are our benchmarks?
hmm,
And a lot of times I'll sit down with a client the first time, they didn't even know the answer to those things. Like, well, you can't measure success or judge us if you don't know what your benchmark is. Where are
hmm,
you at for the last quarter? Where are you at year over year? Month to month, year over year, where are you at? Is there, what's your average cycle time? If it's a 6 month cycle time and you're planning on running a 3 month campaign with me, well, of course we're not going to convert in 3 months. You just
hmm.
told me your cycle time is 6 months. So those are the kind of questions that we have to dive into and really see, like, okay, if it's a 6 month cycle time, you better plan on at least a year.
So there's a lot of learning involved as a business owner. And what I'm
Mhm.
hearing from you is, when you're looking at marketing spend, buckle up, because it's a time for you to learn. So if you can set your mindset in the right direction and say, you know what, I'm going to sit down with Jack. We're going to discuss some things, and I'm going to learn a lot in this process. It's going to go a lot easier for you if your mindset is set correctly about, hey, this is just, I'm taking a master class with Jack about marketing, and I'm going to learn a lot. I'm going to learn a lot about my business that I didn't know before. So if you're open to learning, or coachable, as they say in my industry, but if you're open to learning it can be a very beautiful relationship and a very exciting journey of, you know what, I didn't know that about my business. I didn't know that about this. Like get the ego aside and just be open like a kid. Be open to learn. It'll go so much better for you. And
Correct.
thank you for having the patience to guide the business owner or the C-suite through that process of, okay, here's what we need. You may not understand these things right now, but at the end of 3 months, you're going to, or in the end of 2 weeks, whatever your time frame is, right? It's like,
Mhm.
we're going to help you learn more about your business and about the marketing side of it. And I love how super targeted you guys are and how you can get like pinpoint targeted with whatever it is that a person needs, which helps. It helps with the efficacy of the marketing. I
You know
really
what's funny about
appreciate it.
that? We're starting to pull back from that. Like we like the fact that we're targeting too, but we see that the broader we make a campaign, the more successful it is.
Mm,
Part of we talked about word of mouth earlier.
hmm
Even if you get super targeted, bottom of the funnel kind of stuff instead of top of the funnel with name branding, recognition, I know your name, I've heard you, I trust you. That's
hmm
all top of the funnel. And that's where a lot of it starts. And you can continue to drive them down the funnel with more targeting and more targeting. But if all you're doing is targeting, you're missing all that top of the funnel name branding and awareness. And that's where the trust starts at
hmm
that top of the funnel. If I'm just trying to, it's the whole thing of like, are our phones listening to us or is our smart speaker listening to us? My
hmm
wife and I talk about tires, and all of a sudden, every website I go to, there's tire ads, right?
hmm
Something's listening. That's not very trustworthy.
mm
But if I hear that branding message constantly, that's what gets it going. Plus, you have the fact that like maybe you're not in the market for it, but I'm in the market for it, and I see you at our favorite coffee house, and I say, "Hey,
hmm
Misty, I heard this thing, right?"
hmm
You get targeted. You might not hear it, but I did, and I'm the one who told you about it because I heard the ad.
hmm
People need to keep that in mind too.
Yeah, like 1 degree of separation. So somebody hears about it, they know somebody that needs your service or your product. Yes, of
Mhm.
course. When we think about the targeting part of it, that's beneficial for different types of businesses at different times, of course.
Correct.
So I think about one of our dear friends, Adam Kemper, who has the ability to do the target mailers, which I think is very beneficial for different
Mhm.
businesses at different stages. So, um, it's just really analyzing it from a child perspective, meaning you're open to learning and growing through this process and really diving in to figure out what is going to be best for my business and listen to the experts and let them tell you what their input is. Of course, it's your decision at the end of the day. Always,
Right.
always. We always default to our client's decision-making process. We have to, like they're the ones that are paying for the service or the product. So, um, but open yourself up to that process, really dive in, make an informed decision about your marketing spend. Please,
Mhm.
please, please. It's going to go much better for you. You're going to say less cuss words. You're going to you're going to project less blame on people and
Right.
companies if you do your due diligence and go through this process as we're suggesting. So, wow. Jack, it's been a long time coming. I'm glad that we've had this conversation, and I know it's going to be very beneficial for our listeners.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Thanks again, Misty.
Yeah. Um, One question I like to ask sometimes, not always. What do you do to keep a wealthy mind?
Um, every morning, my routine is the same. I get up, make an espresso, sit down at my dining room table before anybody else is up, and I read my Bible, do a devotional, journal, pray for about an hour.
Mm,
Then I go downstairs to I have a gym in my basement. I'll work out for an hour. And I figure I've started my day as strong physically, spiritually, and mentally as possible. And anything else that happens after that, I've already set it up to be a good day.
excellent. I love that. You're starting your day strong. That's my motto too, as I start
Yep.
my day strong. I set my mind in the right direction and it sets the rudder for my ship.
Mhm.
That little tiny rudder guides everything. Well, Jack, thank you for your time today. Thank you for the conversation, and
Thank
it's
you.
been worth the wait.
Thanks, Misty.
Yeah. So, how can people get in touch with you if you guys are excited about Jack, which you should be excited to have a conversation with him? How can they reach out to you?
Probably best way is to reach out directly to me through email, which is my first name and last name with no dot or hyphen, Jack, Gelley, at iHeartMedia.com.
Awesome. And in the description, we'll have all that good, juicy contact information for Jack. So he is also on LinkedIn. So Jack Gelley, find him on LinkedIn. You can reach out to him through that method. He loves LinkedIn. He's on there all the time.
Yes, I am.
I do know that because we know each other quite well. So, yeah, again, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for the value that you've provided for the audience today. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Misty.
You're welcome. All right, you guys, if you enjoyed this conversation, please reach out to Jack. He's happy to talk with anybody and everybody that wants to learn or wants to spend some money on marketing dollars. So hopefully you guys are a good fit for him. And if you are in the Denver area, please sit down and have coffee with this man. Please, he likes them. And we both like More Coffee House in
Right.
DTC. It's our favorite place to have coffee with people. It's a wonderful find. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week and weekends, and we will see you soon. Thank you for tuning in to the Wealthy Mind podcast. Please be sure to download the Wealthy Mind app today and make sure to support your local Dress for Success.